So this is lucerne, and with its amazing richness and power. Tell me about the lucerne.
Yeah, well, look, we're trying to use crops that farmers know about, that fit into their systems, that they know how to grow. And the great thing about lucerne is that it's a perennial crop, so you establish it, it'll last 7 or 8 years if it's looked after in the system. And it fixes its own nitrogen, so it doesn't need nitrogen fertiliser. It has a big taproot. The taproot can go up to 3 metres into the ground, which makes it very nutrient efficient, very water efficient. Puts a lot of carbon down into that root system, and we're curious about what that might mean for carbon storage over time. But the beautiful thing is it produces a lot of protein very efficiently. When we are able to harvest this, it'll be 25, potentially 30% crude protein at times. And here we are at this Lincoln farm trying to figure out how to integrate it into dairy farming systems so that our process can help dairy farmers live within a smaller footprint, both climate and nitrogen.
And the key to this is that lucerne is a very good source of rubisco, this key plant protein, and then your system extracts rubisco, but then it still leaves good fodder for the animals.
Yeah, so we're optimising both ways. How do we optimise for human nutrition? Then how do we create a product that is available to go back into the farming system, to go to dairy cows, to beef animals, sheep, and again help those farmers reduce nitrogen loads in particular, but make the whole system more efficient from a carbon cycling point of view.
We want to help achieve some change at scale. People change when there is reason to change, when they're able to change, when the bank will allow them to change. And so we need an economic model which allows farmers to make that choice to change to the system. And everything we've done so far indicates that economically this will make sense. It's a very efficient model. Once you start getting that double use off the same land, that makes sense from an economic perspective.
And so the environmental benefits of this is particularly around nitrate, and so there isn't excess nitrate in the farming system. That's the key benefit, is it?
That's the key benefit, and it's highly productive. So you're getting more production of a smaller area, which means you can produce more food in less of a farming area, which allows you to make choices, because if you can do that, that's a profitable system, which allows you to make choices about, if you need less land, what really should be wetland, what really should be in trees, what really is more suitable to another use. So we're hoping to free up farming to make some of those choices which help us bring some more balance to the environment, as well as the cow and that farm system having a lower impact in itself.
Now we're standing, this is a food processing innovation centre, so what will you be doing here to further develop your system?
Up until now we've been working at benchtop, and then we've worked at early stage pilot, but it's really been stitching together things in different places. This is the first time we're building, in partnership with Food South and Lincoln University, this is really a mini factory. So we've got a spray dryer here behind us, very much like the spray dryer you'd find at large scale in the dairy industry, for example. We've got some other processes that we won't talk about in terms of how we purify the product, how we concentrate it, separate it, all those steps. And then the final step is spray drying. So you end up with a white powder coming out that's available for use either directly as consumers, as a protein powder, or as an ingredient into the food industry.
So here at Food South, this is very much going to be that pilot plant in a processing stage. Yeah. And all being well, later on this year, you're going to have white protein powder.
Within a matter of months. So that lucerne that we just looked at, that's growing, that with the equipment will arrive, we'll run it through the process that the team have designed over the last few years. And really this is the last step before we go to scale. Now, in saying that, we'll learn a huge amount. As you go from lab to benchtop to pilot, you always learn. Things always never work out as you think they're going to. But the team's expecting to learn a lot as we take it to this scale, and then we'll spend as much time here as we need to to make sure the process works, and then the next stage is investing to start that scale-up process.
We're looking for opportunities that will take us into the future, I guess, and one of those is alternative proteins. There's plenty that are looking to respond to the shift in climate generally, renewable energy and the like. But alternative proteins is of interest as consumer preferences change, the need to farm more sustainably increases, the need to respond to the climatic pressures change as well. So purely from an investment perspective, it was very attractive to meet those goals of repositioning our portfolio. And then from a values base as well, there was also really strong alignment. You touched on what we're looking to do in agriculture. Obviously, what they're doing can be put to use on our farms. We're very keen to see and try alternative uses for our whenua to drive forward other options, and leaf fits well within our current systems as well, so it's quite a nice way to transition.
Tell me more about the environmental benefits that you hope leaf will deliver.
It allows a much more sustainable approach, but it also allows us to continue to deliver within our current farming operations. So it's a really nice way to continue to transition our farming operations to a more sustainable method of farming, which is critical to us and underpins a lot of the work we're already doing on the whenua.
Leaf has the potential to grow rapidly and therefore need a lot of capital. Might Ngāi Tahu be a substantial investor over time?
Yes, and I mean ultimately that's what we would hope occurs, and what's nice about the approach that we've taken, it is a startup. It does carry plenty of risk at this stage as they look to prove out the model. So we've made an appropriately sized investment given that risk. However, as the model proves out, which it hopefully will, and as you say, larger requirements of capital comes along, we'll be familiar with the business, how it's performing, what its expectations are. So we'll be in a much better position to assess those requests as if we were coming in fresh. And ultimately we would hope that is the case, because the company will be successful and will be provide a greater opportunity for us to invest further.